This is the Virtual Happy Hour Experience. I am your show host, Rob. Welcome back. We have great weekly content. Smash the like, subscribe to this channel, share the content, and comment below. This affects the YouTube algorithm. It's a slow and steady build. We're going to talk about that today with an absolute expert. Now, we're going to introduce Zach Meacham. Zach, you are from We Are Video Makers, and you have a massive amount of content and video experience, podcasting, podcast development. This is a hot topic because really you think about it. I come from the Gen X generation. When I first started working, you used the yellow pages. People put ads into TV. It was, if you think about it, it's so fucking archaic in comparison to today's world where you can just hit the switch on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok. Of course, we can't talk about this and exclude them. Talk a bit about how you got all started into this, because you've really become an expert in this field.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'm glad to be on the show. It's YouTube, video, all that. It's kind of been something I've been interested in a while. First YouTube video I ever shot was in 2008. When I was younger, I wanted a video camera. No idea why. We were poor. And so that was like,
wow,
Christmas, birthday, like everything. And you can get a cheap one. Cool.
Yeah.
So I make videos hilarious with friends. It was fun. It was my kid's camera his toy has better resolution than my camera had. But I loved video. Something about video and audio just spoke to me. And in high school, I made some videos, and as I was going to college, I was going to be a physician assistant. And it's kind of, not quite a doctor, step down, you work under someone else's license, but found some YouTubers like, this is really cool. How are you doing this? I met a guy, and he's, said, I'm replacing my 6-figure income with 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. I was like, wow, okay, I need to learn from you. I worked with him. Yeah. Well, and I know it's not everyone can do that, but if you know what you're doing, you can. And so I started working with him. I was selling bespoke suits, finishing up school, a bunch of different things, and pandemic hit. And I was like, okay, I really need to jump into this, because I was writing articles and they weren't making a lot of money, but I loved what I was doing. I loved creating content. And so got some courses, got paid for some mentors, spent a good amount of time really digging in. In the first 8 months on YouTube, I had my channel made $15,000 before I ever was monetized on YouTube.
Wow.
And so I was like, I'm kind of figuring this out. Like, I like this. I reached out to some friends that are local companies, just giving free advice. I really was just trying to help. Like, what do you charge? I'm like, I don't know. Let me think about it. And so I started working with them. Word of mouth. I've worked with small businesses, medium businesses, marketing agencies, Fortune 500 companies. I've just gone with large creators all over the place. So it's kind of accidentally on purpose. Keep saying I'm going to write this book because it's kind of just happened, but I was going that way, and just all the right things happen. So
that's cool. And, it's such a key component to reaching out to people. I mean, it took me a while to come up with this, took years. The guy, I have 20 some odd years of stage experience, public speaking, presenting on cruise ships as an entertainment manager.
That's awesome.
As an assistant, as an assistant cruise director in that capacity, auctioning artwork and sports memorabilia. Then many years later, I started working with a company called Groovy Grapes. This is a few years before now. And that's when I came out of by base professional certification levels to work with wine. We're going back going back 9 years, 10 years. And it lent itself really well because it was easy to flip the switch on content. The tricky part, and I tell all these people this, or anyone who asks, is, to come up with a cohesive plan and a concept. Like for this, the Virtual Happy Hour Experience, or the Happy Hour Experience with the Drunken Grape, I kind of played between the two names. Started out with the longer version, seems a little easier to promote it with the shorter version. It was having extraordinary people like yourself, with extraordinary drinks on the show. And, on that note, toast to that and happy hour. I have Vodka Cream. This is from Almont, Ontario. I live in Ottawa. This is just maybe 50 miles or 50 kilometers away. I can't remember, but it's close. You could get there in an hour's drive. And they use actual cream in the distillation process, a bit of sugar, and vodka made from milk. So it is gluten-free, and it's also lactose-free, and has the seal, the dairy farmers seal, recognizing it as a quality milk product. It's the only one in Canada because when it comes to liquor and liqueurs, they're able to skirt around actually using full dairy somehow, and they can still call it a cream liqueur, which is odd. This is awesome. You have to have this if you drink with some vodka, throw a bit of Kahlua in here, and you got a really powerful White Russian in your hand. That's a bit of mixology. My bartending past of almost 2 decades in mixology as well. But I'm going to stay away from sipping this today. I've been fighting, I don't know whether it's something I ate or whatnot, but when your stomach's off, stay away from booze, stay hydrated. And that's what I've been doing. And you've got some sparkling drink in your hand there, eh? Non-alcoholic?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just strawberry kiwi, local drink. I can't have a whole lot of anything anymore because of some meds I take. So I hydrate in the morning. So
that's important as hell. And you know, your health comes first. We talked about that in the green room, and we'll get that's for another time. But it's non-alcoholic beverages are exploding as well in the market. As much as the alcohol trade is just never going to go away, this is like an inelastic demand. It's like having the roofer or the plumber or the electrician come by in your house, or the builder. Certain things are inelastic, but what is moving well now is the non-alcoholic beverage trade. You know, that sounds like a pretty damn good beverage you have there. It's got some effervescence to it. It's almost like a sparkling alcoholic drink minus the booze, so you could actually enjoy it and stay hydrated. And you know, I like to be active. I'm in shape, stay in shape. It's great to have great non-alcoholic drink options too. And for those of you watching this, drink responsibly. You know, I'm a light to moderate drinker. I don't believe in actually drinking every day, Zach. You know, you hear some people say, you can have a glass or 2 or wine a day or a beer or 2.
Yeah.
I find even for me that gets to be a bit too much, because what happens is you develop bad habits. It's better if you have... I taste product sometimes on a daily basis, but that's like 1 or 2 ounces, and then you throw it out in a spittoon, you're done. You just need to know the tasting notes. But actual drinking, I say 3-4 days a week, I'll go out and have a drink, maybe maximum. Occasionally I'll indulge on rare occasions, but you know, I'm very light to light moderate, and I think it's a key component to having excellent longevity and health.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I think it's everything in moderation. Like it's a good motto, I think.
Yeah. And one last step for those watching this: great wine resource, Grapes and Wines by Oz Clarke. This book is a terrific book. It's right up there with the World Atlas of Wine by Hugh Johnson and the great Jancis Robinson Master of Wine. This actually takes you through a tour, Zach, of all the different grapes, viticulture. It breaks down a whole heap of things. This is an excellent resource if you want to learn a lot more about wine. Working with wine and beer is a big passion of mine, as is video. So we're going to get back to that. We are video makers. So you launched this. This is a specialty on YouTube. And we're talking in the green room some tools, because with this channel, it is a slow and steady race, I find. But there are certain things you need. Can you walk us through what you would advise to be some good equipment and some good software tools to help assist you with your channel when you're building it? Because a lot of people are going to want to know this in the YouTube happy hour experience. You know, we can call it that, or the content creation happy hour experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I like what you said. Have a concept, have something that you're talking about. I don't think sometimes when you get started, you're like, this is the thing I'm going to do. I started with a channel reviewing men's clothing and realized I can't do this long term. I made good money with it. It's a channel that's made money and I got a lot of experience, but we are video makers stemmed out of that. So if you get going, don't be afraid to pivot. Like sometimes you need to, but if you are all over the place, I had a couple people, family members, friends start YouTube at the same time as me, and they were just everywhere. Like, I'm going to talk about this topic or this topic or this topic. You're confused. Think of your favorite TV show. If you turn it on one day and it is your show, and then another time it's not, you're like, I have no idea what's going on.
That's a great comparison or analogy right there.
Yeah. Well, and it's the same with the length. Like your show here, you know, you have different lengths for different shows, and I know what to expect. I'm going to come spend 15, 20 minutes with you. But if one day you have a 3-minute video, another day you have a 3-hour video, like if I turn on my favorite TV show and it's all of a sudden a 10-hour video instead of the 30-minute episode, I'm like, wait a second, I'll watch 10 hours, but you know, I'm not going to do it all in one sitting. So have that concept, have the idea, have the audience that you're talking to, know what question you're the answer to. And, you know, you don't have to be super fancy when you get started. Too often people are like, oh, I don't have my camera. I don't have a microphone. I don't have these things, so I can't start. And get started with what you have. Figure out how to make your phone look decent. If you have a little bit, invest in an okay microphone and really figure out if you want to do this. If you know you want to do this, I would say first get a good microphone. Then you can, upgrade lighting and a camera last. Like if you're buying a camera, it should make your smartphone look really, really bad. And that means you need to spend a good amount of money on it. I have this little switch here and I can this does make my phone look bad.
No, not at all. That's cool.
I don't think everybody needs that, but if you're spending the money on camera, that's where you should be. But software wise, I think you have it right. I love, and I don't think anybody sees this, but Riverside is what we're streaming on, and it records incredible quality video and audio. And you could repurpose as an editor within it. I actually made a free 30-minute training showing people how to make 10 videos on Riverside in 60 to 90 minutes because I love the tool. It's amazing. And then TubeBuddy, you mentioned that. I think there are a couple of softwares to optimize. TubeBuddy it's a little advanced, but it has some features you don't get anywhere else, like A/B testing thumbnails, things like that. So if you really want to dig in and get good, I think that's a great option. If you're just like, I just kind of want like keywords, I just want like a little bit of help. vidIQ has either a free version or an inexpensive version where it's like $10 a month, something like that. It's not my favorite tool, but if you're really short on time, you're just like, I just need a little help. It's a great option. So.
Yeah, and microphones, audio is obviously. I watched you talk with my great friend Krista Mullion. You nailed this. Audio is critical. When I started out, when I was talking about this in the green room with you, I've got these earpods. These earpods are an audio device. It's for me just to simply hear you and to hear what I'm saying on the set. That is all it is now. I've got a Shure MV7 microphone up here, which has been flawless ever since. And the reason for that is you want it hardwired in, and even better is what you have as a headset hardwired in, because there is no fail point. Bluetooth can and will lag on you, especially on audio. If you have any interference of any kind, any other electronic devices, it will skip. Some reason it'll skip. And, covering things off, Riverside, great tool. I came across this, Adam Posner of the Podcast. Adam is a recruiter. He's a brilliant guy on LinkedIn. Big shout out to him. He recommended Riverside, and my videographer and I were using Zoom. And Zoom sucks for this because the problem with Zoom is it's really hard to separate your audio and visual files when you're using a separate software tool like Final Cut Pro for editing or Adobe Premiere. What Riverside does, ladies and gentlemen, is it cuts and separates each file between video and audio separately. So you can actually manipulate it. And if there's any reason audio is lengthened or compressed to the video, you can actually format it that it catches up and stays pace with the video itself and doesn't look like a badly dubbed film.
Yeah. Yeah. And the audio quality also, because it records to your computer first and then uploads. And so if you have slow internet, which, I mean, I do this for a living, so I pay ridiculous amounts for internet each month. So it's super fast, but not everyone has access to that or can afford that. And so if you have a guest on or something like that, it takes care of that for you. Whereas Zoom, I mean, even with fast internet, I can have issues and it'll maybe be choppy. And that's not good to be able to repurpose to YouTube or other places. So I think you're doing a good job here.
Yeah, it's clunky. And, YouTube's great for video conferencing or hosting virtual events. You got breakout rooms, you got a whiteboard. They keep adding it to it for that purpose. But for podcast purposes or a YouTube channel, get a tool like Riverside. And they're from Tel Aviv, Israel, too, which is kind of cool. They're like, they've done really well. It's an Israeli-based company. I don't know if you knew that, but
I didn't think about that. Actually, I'm connected with the founder over there. And I realized they were all over there. I was like, I didn't even think about their headquarters being over there because all of their C-suite are over there.
Yeah. So we're going to bring up your profile on LinkedIn. I'm going to close this. We're going to go back to the view. Here we are. We are video makers, positioning yourself as the expert in your field. Video podcasting tips, camera, microphone, personal branding. I caught some of your videos. You got some excellent videos on LinkedIn. You've got quite a strong following growing. You're crawling towards 5,000, but 5,000 organic followers that are really into it. And would you agree that having 1,000 real subscribers that are customers or followers is far more powerful than a massive following?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually talking to someone on the call earlier where I would rather have 1,000 super fans. I love that term. There's great
of course
documents around that, but over 100 million just general, because like, you know, you think of Mr. Beast, you know, I don't love to watch his videos, but I love to listen to his thought process on how he does YouTube. And like to reach the scale he has, like the amount of skill and production and all the things that he has to do to keep the attention of a wide audience is way more than I ever want to do. So if I have 1,000 people, I can have my phone and an okay mic, and I can talk and give them value because I know what questions they're asking, and I can answer them, and I can help them, and I can impact them, and I can make a living off of 1,000 people that actually need what I have to offer. So it's, you know, for me, that I would love nothing more than have a very targeted audience over hundreds of thousands or even millions of followers.
Yeah, Scotty Schindler talks about that. He used to own a software company called Renet, which is a client relationship management tool. And he talks about business of thirds, and then he gets into business judo, which is a term of leveraging, like actual judo, where you use someone's leverage and size against them and the momentum against them to throw them. Well, he also talks about breaking everything in tens, like, you know, the 10th, the 1, the 10, the 100, the 1,000. And it's true, because if you have 100 hardcore customers, you have a strong business. If you have 1,000 hardcore customers, you have a booming business. In most cases. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. That's a cool analogy.
Keep scaling it up.
But you, it's funny how you talk about 2008. What was it, about a 360p camera, a 420p then? Like the imaging would have been just not the same at all.
Yeah, it was probably, I think it was 360p. It might not even been that. It was a $120 camera in like 2005.
Wow.
So not even an old smartphone is going to be that bad.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So
I think we did things. Yeah, that's cool. No, I think we got to stress too, again, to the audience, you can do this on an affordable budget. You don't need $20,000 or $30,000 worth of gear that Zach has, or a few $1,000 I have sitting around me. You can actually build this pretty inexpensively to get going. And the key is to really get going. I mean, how has this had an impact on your business, just being able to go live like this or get into podcasting?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's done everything for me. So I have some mental health challenges. I have Asperger's, and having a job, the thing that would happen is I'd get in the job. I wanted to prove that I was the best. I would hyper fixate on it, and I wouldn't think about anything else. And then once I was like, okay, I'm the best at this role, what's next? And my boss would be like, well, just keep doing that. And my brain's like, wait, I can't like keep growing. Like I just had this hyper 6 to 12 months of growth, and now you just want me to be stagnant. And I'd get disinterested and I would leave jobs. And so this is my 10th business. I've worked in a lot of different jobs, and I didn't know if I'd ever get to a point where I was like, hey, I can have a successful career. Like I really want that, but I can't stop going from thing to thing. And creating video has been that thing for me where I fixate on it. And no matter how much I talk about it, no matter how much I work with people on it, there's always something new that I'm learning and growing in. And so it's become my business. It's like, this has allowed me to have a normal career and business. So entrepreneurship normal, but it's been everything for me. Yeah.
Yeah. We thought one of my nephews had a touch of Asperger's. As it turns out, he's actually quite normal. I think he just went through some challenging times. And of course, losing his mother, was my twin sister, back 3 years was hard, but he got over it all. And he's really developed into a great young man. But what I can say about learning about Asperger's, and I have nieces that are autistic, 2 of them, is yes, it's a challenge because we live in a cookie cutter corporate world, and it's bullshit. Because you really shit on, and I'll use this word on the show, but you'll shit on talent. And in your case with Asperger's, thank God you have the entrepreneurial spirit, and you really are extraordinary at what you do and the way that you step out on it. Because something like Asperger's is a huge advantage because your attention to detail would be second to none.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gift. On that front, it's a rock solid gift. Yeah, but for us, thank God that the understanding of mental health is getting a lot better. But for each element, there's a superpower that really does go with it. The last thing I truly have to say about this, before we close off is, be the change you want to be in this world. Mahatma Gandhi. It's one of my favorite quotes I often end the show with. And, having those special talents, you are able to really channel that in such a creative way with video. Ladies and gentlemen, follow him, get connected. If you are a business or company out there struggling with social media, and trust me, most of you are, because I watch the content, I scratch my head, even from billion-dollar companies, as to what you are doing. Do not hire kids at minimum wage or low salaries to do this. They'll be disinterested and walk away, and they don't have the expertise. Reach out to people like Zach. Make it professional. He'll help you design a podcast room. He'll get the equipment up. He'll help you with the video and content creation. And he's wonderfully talented at it. Listen, you've been a tremendous guest. Is there anything you want to impart with the audience before we go?
I appreciate all the comments and our compliments, and I really do appreciate coming on the show. I do want to say I have that free, it's a 30-minute training, so it's gift.wearevideomakers.com. It's 100% free. I just want to help you create more content with less time, because I know if you own a business, if you're an entrepreneur in any kind, time is short always. So you can create more content that way. And then if you do like that training, if that's helpful, reach out. I'm happy to help with all the things that you mentioned, and I'd love to help more people scale their business, become the thought leader, make an impact, whatever it is you're trying to do. Video podcast is one of the best ways I found to do that, so I'd love to help you out with that. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Listen, you've been a terrific guest. God bless you. Much love. Much love to all of you watching this. Remember, subscribe, share the channel, follow Zach, and connect with him on social media. Hit him up on LinkedIn. Hit him up at his site, wearevideomakers.com. Whatever you decide to do, ladies and gentlemen, have a terrific day. This is Rob and Zach from The Drunken Great.